So I know that all of you, with what's going on in our world today, your inboxes are literally just bombarded with information from organizations that are trying their very hardest to be of value to you right now. And my organization is one of them, right? But the problem is, I read an article. I'm going to share both of these resources with you. The article is called, Finding It Hard to Focus, Meet Your Not to Do List, what not to do, right? And then the other one is from the Small Business Association of Michigan, which says when work email stops you from actually getting work done. And I imagine that's happening. That's just so timely in what's happening in our world today. And so I wanted to spend some time just, teaching you to focus, right? Teaching you to focus. So there's a company called Rescue Time, and they did a survey of American workers today, and it shows that people do not go, this was like a live real survey where they put, a governor on people's computers. People don't go more than 6 minutes without checking their inboxes or their chat apps during working hours. 6 minutes. So that totally proves that great, focused, productive work can't happen if we interrupt our brain cells every 6 minutes to check whatever is going on in our world or check our emails. And I find when I really speak to people about this that it's more of a habit, for sure, right? It's one of those things where it's like, okay, the phone is open, it's in my hand, I might as well check the email too while I'm checking my social media and my news sites. So it's a habit that we have to break, especially when we're trying to get real productive work done. So communication tools aren't the problem. Email itself isn't the problem. It's how we use our email that is the actual problem. So every time your brain has to reset. Now there's different research on this. I've read from 64 seconds to read an email and just file it upstairs somewhere to an hour and a half before your brain can truly reset to regain the focus that it had before you opened up your email to read it. So I'm going to talk to you about some solutions that can really help you manage the beast, I call it. Manage the beast, because that's what it truly is. So the challenge with workplaces today is that the availability of instant communication has caused us to have an expectation that communication is instant. And really the only communication that's instant, and this article talks about asynchronous versus synchronous communication. Asynchronous communication is what email is supposed to be. It's meant to be, okay, I'm going to email this person. I don't expect an answer from them right now. I know, I trust, I value that they're going to check their email at some point today and get back to me in the next 24 to 48 hours, right? I think we make an assumption as business people that that's what business communication is, right? And that's not what it is at all. So even in today's virtual reality, there's other ways that you can have synchronous communication. Facebook Live, Zoom, teleconferencing, talking on a landline, talking on a cell phone, walking to someone, knocking on their door and having a conversation with them. And these might be considered interruptions of work and big time wasters as well. But really, if you expect an answer from someone and you want to have synchronous communication, that's what you have to do. So what we have to do as an organization and as leaders is teach people how to use these tools, the right way to communicate with email instead of the wrong way to communicate with email. And if everybody expected asynchronous communication instead of automatic, instant, I know she's working at her desk, so she just needs to answer my email right now, right? Um, and, Stephen Covey, whose work on leadership and how leaders react to everything, his work is still valuable today in that he said, people will treat you how you train them to treat you. So if you're continuously having your email open and, your social media chat boxes open, even if they're professional ones and Slack and uh, things like that are used professionally. So if you have all those open and you respond to people immediately, including your children, then the expectation is that you will respond to them immediately forever, right? And so we have to train ourselves. This is twofold. As an organization, we have to set the expectation that it's okay for employees, it's okay for leaders to not respond immediately and in the moment, okay? But it's also a gift for ourselves to not respond immediately and in the moment. And so you need to break that obsession with always having your emails answered in a timely fashion, because it's just not reality, right? It's just not reality. So 4 great suggestions for you. And the first one is something that I have adopted for myself, and it took me a good long time to do this, let me tell you, is to chunk email response time. Whitney and Sue both know, and I think the partners across the country that we work with know that Sue and I, are dedicated to responding to them within 24 hours, but not immediately, right? And but we also know as a company that the expectation is not that we will respond to each other immediately. We have other forms of communication for that. So we chunk emails. We read them early in the morning before the start of the workday. We read them. We do a quick check-in at noon to see if anybody needs us for anything. And then at the end of the workday to wrap up what questions or concerns people may have that we can respond to. So, the problem is there's really important emails in your inbox, but there's crap in your email in your inbox as well. And how do you sift it? How do you sort through that? Another habit that I have started is to unsubscribe to something every week. Right? I know most of you have personal email addresses, and that's where, the Kohl's gift certificates and, all the crap can go. Leave that for your personal email address. For your business email address, make sure it's filled with resources that you respect and admire and that help you in your professional life. So that's hard to find, isn't it? And, but it's got to be resources that you trust. So a lot of times if I find a resource, I'll give it a month or 2, maybe 3 to wow me. Okay. And if I don't find any pearls of wisdom, or I don't get wowed within a month or 2 or 3, then I'm gone. Then I'm unsubscribing, right? They're out of my life forever. I'm breaking up with them. Okay. So remember, technology is a bad boyfriend. It always lets us down. So use technology. If you feel like your inbox is too cluttered, it probably is. Get rid of some crap in there, right? So it's spring, people. Maybe do a little spring cleaning of your inbox is your one takeaway from this live. So only subscribe to trusted sources of information that you can spend some time getting great value from. I love the article on creating a not to do list every day. It's kind of setting a mantra. It's, making sure that you don't fall into your bad habits for the day. You know what they are, right? You know what those things are that are just driving you crazy, but you can't help but just go back to them time after time after time. It's like, why didn't I do that today? Why didn't I get to my really valuable, important work today? It's because I fell prey to a bunch of other things. So creating your not to do list is a great thing. So I'm not going to multitask today. And that should be your number one thing, right? In this article, if you read it, when Whitney shares it, will teach you this. Your not to do list, okay? And is multitasking. And when you're trying to get real work done and you have several screens open and you are notified when someone messages you, you are notified when so you get more emails, turn off those notifications. That's what causes you causes you to lose your focus. Okay, it causes you to lose your focus and causes you to multitask. And when you multitask, remember your IQ drops by 11% and it takes you 40% longer just to get great work done. So multitasking. Um, so another thing in filling up, working on your not to-do list is we never give ourselves the true and actual time that it takes to get our work done. So scheduling productive time and not smashing it in between meetings or which I know is really difficult to do right now. You guys are probably just cranked with meetings, but make sure that you schedule actual time for what it takes you to do something. And that's got to make your not to do list. And again, not multitasking, and your actual work will take you the real time that it takes. The fourth thing is, social media, especially, right now, there's so much research out there on social media and telling us what we should look like, how we should act, how much fun we should be having. Spend as little time in social media as you possibly can. Honestly, it causes more stress, more anxiety, more depression than it really, really needs to. So again, if you're going to chunk that time, don't combine it with other things. Don't combine it with reading work emails. And it's called a brain waste. Again, in the Franklin Covey work on productivity, it's that fourth quadrant of mind dump where we're just doing something that's mindless. Our emails can be that, social media can be that, looking at the news, can be that as well. So, call to action. I have an announcement, actually, a company announcement. And I know Whitney's really mad at me right now because I was supposed to do this at the beginning, but we had a contest. We had a contest for one quarter. Every Monday, we asked you to do one thing, another way to chunk your time, another way to hold yourself accountable as a really productive and thriving, not just surviving leader, is to say, what is my big rock for the week? What will I achieve for the week? So the gist of our do one thing is that you were going to put it in fans of the framework, and then other leaders were going to cheer you on, and we were all going to persevere together. And then Friday, Whitney posted another, did you achieve your one thing, right? Now, some of you may have completely forgotten what your one thing was. Happened to me twice, okay? It's all right, right? It's a habit. We want to help you form healthy, productive, thriving habits, right? To make you the best leader that you can be. So every quarter, we were going to have a little contest. We put that on pause for right now. We'll pick it up on third quarter. But the winner of our contest was Cindy Chicker from the Richland Hospital in Richland Center, Wisconsin, who got her name drawn out of a hat and was the best at her do one thing and announcing it in the fans of the framework. So Cindy gets a way cool Yeti tumbler with a Capstone Leadership logo on it, as well as a gratitude journal. So we have two ways for you to learn virtually. And when in our virtual learning, we talk a lot about being a more transparent communicator and setting up great communication systems for yourself, your employees, and your organization. Two things: go to our website, the Greatness Course and New Leader E Boot Camp. So two ways to learn virtually. All right, guys, happy Thursday. Make it your best.